Military is reported to have detained 8 persons from Garu and Tempane in the Upper East region after allegedly subjecting many of the youth to physical assaults of an alleged attack on their men on Sunday. Garu DC Osman Musa and Tempane DC Isako said the 8 were selected out of 16 suspects after a screening and later airlifted out of the area for further interrogation by the military unit. This is after the National Security released a statement explaining their actions. Let's share with you details of that statement. We'll be bringing you that later. Meanwhile, the Upper East Regional Minister Stephen Yakubu has been to the community to assess the situation there. Upper East Regional Correspondent Albert Sori has been following up for us. He joins us shortly. Albert, what's the latest with the regional minister's visits to the area? What were the highlights of the visit?
Yes, so the regional minister, Stephen Yakubu, was in Garu yesterday afternoon. He basically wanted to get first-hand information on the incident, also see the victims, those who sustained injuries and were in hospital, and even those who were discharged. He was also meeting with chiefs of the communities where people were beaten. And so basically he went there to give them assurances that, what happened would not happen again, because what he said was that they understood that many of the young men and even the older men in the community were staying away from their homes for fears that the soldiers could return. And so he basically told them that the soldiers were not going to return and attack them, and so they should come back to their homes. He also promised that those of them who were in hospital would be given some money to support their medical bills. And so these were basically the things that he wanted to do. He said that for those who had been arrested, he couldn't just tell them that they were going to be released, but he was sure that once investigations were concluded on the reasons for their arrest, they would definitely return home.
And how have residents been responding to this?
Yeah, so for many of the residents, even when the regional minister were there, they were still very angry about the incident. Remember, Garu is one of those communities or those areas where you rarely hear any sort of bad news. And something like this is very new to many of the residents who were angry about it. And so, for instance, there was a patient who sustained a head injury and a chest injury at the same time and had to be transferred from the Garu Presby Hospital to the Tamale Teaching Hospital yesterday morning for further medical treatment. This is a patient who was not charged with any crime or even arrested. And for him to sustain those injuries for no reason was a source of anger for his family and even the residents of the area. It's the same for many of the people who are in hospital because they feel that they were beaten and punished for nothing at all. And so for many of the people of Garu, they are hoping that, the government does something about this, especially to take care of those who are in hospital, those who have had to pay medical bills for something that they did not do to themselves. And so these are some of the concerns that the people of Garu had.
Albert Sori is our Upper East correspondent, and definitely we'll bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. Let's